The first bunch sprint in this Vuelta. Who put that corner there? And let's go for the longest sprint ever. Why not Milano? Starting in Andorra la Vella, coming down to the coast south of Catalunya in Tarragona. Couple of Category 3 climbs to navigate, but they were too far from the finish and too shallow to be of any concern to any of the sprinters, with the uphill sprint finish in Tarragona under the weather that all the riders would have been hoping for, 30 degrees and sunny. Breakaway featuring Sepulveda going for KOM points, Caja Rural and Okamiga, who also always likes to get in these midweek TV sprint stage breakaways, and Alpecin de Koenig with Caden Groves as a stage favourite were keeping them on a very tight leash, aided by DSM Firmenich going for Alberto Dainese. Off day for all the GC guys like Remco, Rojo, whilst Gonzalez, Sepulveda and Okamiga plied their work up front, so pretty chill. Sepulveda was allowed to take the KOM points, and I think he now takes that jersey in his own right. There was a bit of a weird story about how there was some protesters trying to pour olive oil on the riders, like 400 litres of it, which is, kind of crazy. They got arrested yesterday by the Spanish police, and Sepulveda took the next points. So that was that. And the peloton was like, all right, you've had enough fun. Sepulveda went back to the bunch. It's the polite thing to do because they let him take the KOMs, and now he lets the two Spanish riders battle it out for the combative rider of the day. They actually made it through the intermediate sprint point with Vendrame, I think, beaten by an EF rider. I don't know if it was Maren Vandenberg for those points. But now the GC teams got to get to the front, got to stay safe, got to get nervous. With the last 20 minutes at 57 k's an hour with 12 k's to the coast, and Ineos, despite the disappointment of Thomas yesterday, have Ganna half-wheeling by 10 wheels, Catania, and then he was sort of rolling turns with Hajduk. I don't know if there was any crosswind and they were trying to pull an echelon because it was strung out at the back, but Ganna kind of pulled too strong because it's 8.2 k's to go here, and you can debate whether there's any merit him actually doing this instead of just going for the stage himself, but that aside, the Ineos train is gone at about 6.5 k's to go, or 6 k's to go, and everyone wants to be front in these roundabouts, and then Quick-Step, UAE and Jumbo-Visma come to the fore, with Bora splitting it up the middle, Jayco on the other side, keeping, Eddie Dunbar safe, but no Ineos in the front 20 riders, so maybe it was crosswinds and they were trying to split it, or maybe Ganna went to the front and got too excited, and then when the most dangerous 3Ks is now from 6Ks to go to the 3 kilometre to go banner. They're not at the front anymore. And there was, in fact, a crash with this off-ramp to the right, a centre divider in the highway to the left, and one of the riders overlapped the wheel. There was a domino effect, and Buitrago went down very hard. And when you see how bad he looked, you'll be surprised to realise he only lost 2 minutes. He got back on the bike. Coquard thinks he might have done his shoulder blade, but he's going to get that checked out. He was a top 3 favourite for this stage. Really, really good finish for him, so big shame. And there's this, not blaming anyone. There's a rider in the middle. They overlap. They move into the middle of the peloton. There's a domino effect behind, and Coquard said that he somersaulted, but it's too zoomed out to really know exactly what happened. But these things often happen in sprint stages. They actually didn't in the Tour de France this year, thankfully. We didn't have too many of these mass pile-ups and from 3Ks to go to 10Ks to go, but the race waits for nobody. And if you were in that crash or caught up like Kelderman was, you're losing the time. The 3 kilometre rule doesn't help you if the crash is at 4Ks to go. Quick-Step keeping Remco in second wheel safe through the 3Ks. They did a good job. Van Baarle moves to the front, but he doesn't have Vingegaard or Roglic on his wheel, actually, and looks behind and thinks, well, it's less than 3Ks to go. They're not here. I'll pull up stumps. And it's time for the sprinters to ply their trade, which I've now said that twice in one video. So Intermarché going for Hugo Page. Aular is that yellow jersey, the Venezuelan national champ for Caja. And UAE scream past Alpecin de Koenig on the right-hand side into the final 1,500 metres. I don't know if it was Soler doing the lead-out. Soler, one of my favourite riders, if not my favourite rider. I just think he's so good, so versatile. And Milano's now third wheel with Turns, the man for Little Trek, being let out as well. Mentin for Lotto Destiny. Listen, not the deepest sprint field at all, but Milano and Groves are pretty damn good. And Moran Vandenberg makes a curious decision here to bump Rui Oliveira. We've got 700 meters left to go, and I have no idea why he wanted to be second wheel with that amount of time to go with an uphill drag. You should be saying, thank you, Rui. please give me a lead out. Please go in front of me so he wouldn't be eating the wind. But anyway, he goes in front. You can see Vingegaard shadowing Remco behind, but we can't really see where all the other GC contenders are apart from Vlasov just in front of them. And Movistar have got Ivan Garcia Cortina for this finish. Lewis Askey for Groupama FDJ is reasonably fast. I think Govakar for Bahrain got caught up in the crash, unfortunately. He was good in one of the Dauphiné sprints. And here's this corner that just keeps coming back on itself. You think it's finished and it doubles back again, and you can see it from that angle, and you'll see it in the overhead here too. Vandenberg is taking the right line if this barrier here, if the barriers stayed on that line, and the road is wide enough, and then the barriers come in again, and that's where Vandenberg crashes, basically. He had to brake too much because he obviously didn't realize it doubled back again right at the end. Robbie Hayes goes over the top of him, and Milano just launches it out of that corner with so far to go. This is crazy sprint. Really, really strong, considering it's uphill. And I guess sometimes you can get separation, and if you get separation and maybe nearly separated this woman from her iPhone, then you can just win if you're the strongest. But Groves was strong enough to stay in his slipstream enough. He looks behind, which is strange in a sprint. And I don't know, Groves' expressions are, unusual in this sprint. It's almost like here he was about to give up, but he just digs back deep again. And it's 125 meters to go. It was 150 where Groves looked back, and it was just too long for Milano. Groves comes out of the wheel. Super strong sprint from the both of them. Groves just better timing, not being in the wind for so long and able to come past in the last 20 meters. But we'll see these guys battling it out tomorrow again. We have a bunch sprint, not an uphill drag like this one, not as technical either. Unless Coquard is okay after this crash, these are the two best sprinters in this race. Groves winning ahead of Milano, Turns, Menton, Van Hestel, Aula, Page, Askey, Flynn and Vendrame. Here's what Groves had to say after the stage.
It's actually a really hard day with only DSM and ourselves controlling. I mean, I had to use two guys to control the breakaway, and that used a lot of energy, but my team was fantastic today, super aggressive, and we were always there on time, and it paid off with the victory.
Were you always confident that you would pass him?
I thought so, because he had let out from already 350 metres, and a finish like that's super tough and quite long as well, and I thought he would have to be on a really good day to beat me.
How different is it to win now, 1 year after the first one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy. It's been a good year now, having a stage win in the Giro and now already won in the Vuelta quite early, and hopefully it's not the last.
No changes on GC as expected. Remco Rojo maintains his 5-second lead on Mars. Initially, some GC guys would put on a 4-second gap like Martinez, but I think that's been amended and he's still on 11 seconds. Same with Roglic and Co, but maybe Lenny did lose 4 seconds. I hope not, because he's the GOAT. I'll see you with a recap of the sprint stage tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until then, ciao.